See. Okay. Hello. Welcome to my first YouTube video and the path to profitability, road to profitability. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet, but essentially this is a series where me, an unprofitable trader, is going to document my progress to become profitable. So realistically, I'm a year and 8 months into trading, and just recently I was like, you know what? I'm going to start posting about it because my whole journey of trading, I've wished there was somebody by my side, you know, cheering me on, or like literally like sitting beside me, like, that's a good trader, good job here, just like a companion to tell me how I'm doing on the charts and to trade with me, because it really does make you feel alone, this trading journey. And so yeah, that's kind of my goal when I hop on here and start posting, not just to document, or not only to document my progress, but also to maybe be that person for maybe other unprofitable traders that are feeling a little alone in their trading journey. Now I know it sounds a little bit corny, like, oh, I feel alone, but like, you really do, because there's no one telling you if you're doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing. It's all on you to figure that out, and there's only so many YouTube videos you can watch, but practice makes perfect. And so you really get what you put in, you reap what you sow here. And yeah, just super blessed to have this opportunity. So if you're here, thank you. Please stick around. And today is Monday the 19th, and it was a U.S. bank holiday. So we'll jump right into this. U.S. bank holiday, which means no trading. Do not trade on a U.S. bank holiday. And so tomorrow I'll post my first live trading, plus a trade recap, plus logging my trades. But what I really wanted to make of today was just get some clarity on trading logs, why they're important, what they do for you, and yeah, just kind of set day one off on catching you guys up to speed with where I'm at. Maybe you can pull a few nuggets out of this as well for yourselves. But what I really want to jump into is, why is trading logs important? Why is logging your trades super important? So I actually, as you can see, didn't start logging my trades like officially until November 10th. It was right after TGR's 3-day live event. He brought on a guest speaker who talked about logging his trades, gave him so much confidence, and he got profitable because he started logging his trades. And the way he explained logging trades made it so easy to understand and see why it's so important. And so I basically just want to reiterate what he said, and then, share some discoveries that I made logging my trades. So hopefully this doesn't go past 20 minutes, but there's a lot of info here to break down. So number one, how do I log my trades? As you can see, super simple. I write down the date, I put down my P&L, and now I'll say this now and I'll go deeper into it later, but P&L doesn't really matter. But definitely log your P&L just so you can see if you won or lost on the day, and then log the amount of money that you risk. So log your risk amount, and then you log your risk reward amount. I keep saying you, but this is like me. This is how I log. And then finally, I just write like a small summary of the day. You can see a couple days in here I slacked, and I can't remember what price action was like that day or how my mental state was that day. Nor do I remember, these stats. So I missed a couple days. There's a few in here where I missed, but try and be consistent. Just logging every day. It takes like 2 minutes. So if you miss it, you're being lazy. But anywho, write a quick summary and then move on. So reason number one why these are so important is because you can build your own statistics. Okay? So if you're logging your trades consistently over a month, 2 months, 3 months, however long, you can then take a second calculate not just your P&L, but right here you can see my win rate, right? And this alone gave me so much confidence because I know, even at the end of the month of November, 58% win rate is not very good, but it's above 50%, right? So in theory, if I am using anything above a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, I make profit. And you can see that right there. I came out with a plus 1,000. I paper trade, so that's not actually real money, but it's all about process. It's all about getting better. So win rate 58%, huge confidence boost out of the month of November. Okay, so that's kind of number one, and like 1.1 is it builds your own stats, which gives you so much confidence. And then on top of that, once you build your stats, it gives you so much direction. It's clear, it's easy to understand, especially if you are two things: honest with yourself, okay? And this is really important. You need to be honest with yourself when you're logging your trades. Excuse me 1 second. You need to be honest, okay? Because if you're not honest and you're lying on your trades, on your trading logs that nobody's going to see, right? This is just for you. You're lying to yourself, you're not going to get profitable. I know that, and I'm still unprofitable, right? But it's just like everything, right? If you're not honest with yourself, if you're not giving yourself any direction, you go nowhere. So that's number one. You need to be honest. And number two, I forgot about number two. It said there was gonna be you need to be two things, and I forgot already. Great. It'll probably come back to me. But being honest with yourself is super important. And so number two, what it does is what logging your trade does. It gives you direction. I said this a dozen times already, but the direction you get from just logging your trades and reviewing them, seeing where you can improve, it outlines the problems. It sticks out like a sore thumb, right? And November was a huge month of development for me, so we'll cover that in a second, right? And then the third reason is, I have notes on it. Bear with me. Okay, so yeah, we said it builds your own statistics, builds confidence, isolates problem within your trading, and it solves the question of, am I doing this right? So as I said at the start, I've always wanted somebody to be kind of beside me, telling me like if I'm doing the right things, if I'm seeing the right things, is this really liquidity sweep? Is this really a break of structure? And you kind of start to like double, triple think on it, or you just kind of start getting overwhelmed with, am I doing this right? And truth be told, man, if you're logging properly, that question is answered right in front of you, right? If you're having good days on the markets and you're coming out with in the green, you're doing it right. Plain and simple. And if you're not, you're not, right? So you need to make a change. And that's the beauty of logging your trades here, right? Is that you log them, you're honest with yourself. Now you can really see where you need to improve. So that's what we're getting at here. So this is why logging your trades is important. So a couple things that I've discovered while logging my trades is that you can actually split, and this was probably the most helpful thing. So we're going to jump into November here. We're going to focus on November. Or sorry, this is December. We're going to focus on December. So in the month of December, I discovered that you can split, and maybe you know this already, but this was a big eureka moment for me. You can split your wins and your losses into two, right? So you have your wins and losses, but you also have your good days and bad days. So like, what are wins and losses made up of? They're made up of good days and bad days in the markets. Now, the thing you need to remember, or that I made sure I remembered, is that a good day in the markets is not dictated, a good or bad day in the markets is not dictated by your P&L. It's dictated by how good was your process, right? Was your process accurate? Were you mentally clear? Did you follow your rules? If you did, and if you were, that's a good day, right? And on a bad day, well, it's the opposite. If you're not mentally clear, if you didn't follow your rules, okay? So that's the two things that I discovered. So wins and losses are comprised of good and bad days. And good and bad days are comprised of whatever you make that to be, right? Now, I would advise against making a good day or a bad day dependent on your P&L, because look at this example here. I had a good day on the markets. You can see I highlighted it in light green. I had a good day on the markets, but I still lost, right? So it's possible to lose when you have a good day. And it's also possible to win when you have a bad day, right? As example on December 1st. So this is why being honest with yourself is kind of the theme that I'm going to run with here when you're logging your trades, right? And so I noticed, right, and this is so cool, how logging your trades outlines problems. So I discovered we have good days and bad days, right? At the end of the month of December, you can see we improved upon November. So I wanted to improve upon my win rate in December. We came out of December and we did that, which also reflects in the P&L, right? We came out with 1,500. But what's all this over here? So because I knew that good days and bad days made up my wins and losses, right? And I knew and I also know what makes up a good day in the markets for me. So we'll split off and do that real quick, right? So a good trading day for me is I'm mentally clear and I follow my trading rules. And these are my trading rules, okay? I have one trade per day, minimum 1.5 risk reward ratio. And this one's a little bit looser, mandatory 1 hour liquidity sweep prior to entry confluences. This just means I need to see some sort of manipulation, some sort of liquidity sweep on any time frame above 5 minutes to be able to, or to allow myself to look for an entry. And then, and then that entry is not always a reversal, right? It can be a continuation, whatever. But I'm waiting for that manipulation first. And then this last one is super important. If you feel you need to de-risk, do not take the trade. So quick tangent before we get back into my good day statistics. If you feel the need to de-risk, don't take the trade. Why? Because feeling you need to de-risk, in my opinion, means that you are not confident in two things. Either you're not confident in the trade that you're about to take, which means you're either not confident in your strategy or you're not having a good trading day, okay? There's no point to just trying trades, or there's no point to like looking at the markets and then you see your setup, but there's news. So you're like, oh, this setup could be really good, but I'm going to de-risk because there's news. What does that feeling of de-risking come from? It comes from the fact that you know not to trade during news, right? Or, this might do that, but my strategy, it's not perfectly my strategy. I'm just going to de-risk. Well, no, you're not. Now you're breaking your own trading rules, regardless if you have this rule or not. So that's my opinion on that, and that's why it's there. Okay? So let's jump into these good day stats. At the end of December, we made the improvements we wanted to make, but it's not good enough, all right? I don't want a $1,500 P&L. I want a $15,000 P&L. So what can I do to get there, right? So you can see the theme. Honest with ourselves and focused on process. Plain and simple. I broke down, I noticed that my good days were really good and my bad days were really bad, okay? So I marked it out. I had 6 good days out of 12 trading days. I had 1 do better day, which is like, it wasn't a bad day of trading. I just should have done better, right? I think I missed an entry or something. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even remember this day. I just know it's there for something. Either way, right? So I had 6 good days out of 12 trading days, and I just threw them up there. I was like, I wonder what would happen if I had 100% good days on the market. This is what happens. My good day stats, my P&L, 34, well, we'll call that 3,500 instead of 1,500. So $2,000 higher P&L by just having good days. And my win rate is astonishing. 83% win rate when I'm having good days. That is huge. Unfortunately, the rate at which I was having good days, I was only having a good day on the markets, quote unquote, good day, 54.5% of the time, right? So this is what I'm talking about. You can get your own statistics. I feel very confident because I have isolated a problem. I'm not coming onto the markets mentally clear enough, and I'm not following my rules enough, right? So now for January, the goal is to buckle down, improve the good day rate, right? I want to have as close to 100% good days on the markets as I can. And then I want to follow my rules. And then this is just a little note for myself. Be patient, see the bigger picture, whatever. Right? So just like that, after a month of trading, I can make these major adjustments in my trading and in my mentality going into the trading day to improve. So that's the whole, that is all of why logging your trades is important. Okay? With plus a few extra bonus things that I found on my own, which I'm pretty proud of, but I want to share that. I want to be fully transparent, and I want to make sure that, you know, some people are getting value out of this or entertainment or whatever you're watching it for. But yeah, man, so the January goals, we're kind of down a little bit of money, but we're having consistently good days, which is excellent. So yeah, man, thank you guys for sticking around to the end. This was Road to Profitability Day 1. I'm not exactly sure what I'll call it yet. TGR just put out a series called Path to Profitability, I think. I don't want to look like I'm copying him, but what else are you going to call it? So, whatever. Yeah, man, stick around. I'll be posting live trading every single day that I'm on these markets. And on top of that, a trade recap immediately after the trading day. And on top of that, logging my trades so you guys can see exactly how I'm doing it and how much progress we can make. And then finally, the goal is to be profitable. I'll write this down here. Goal, be profitable by spring. Okay, so that could be March/April of 2026, right? And what does that mean to be profitable for me? One last thing is pulling money out of the markets. So ideally, my idea is like via funded accounts, of which I've never passed before. So the goal is to pass and get a payout from a funded account by spring 2026. So that's it. Thank you for your attention, and I will see you tomorrow morning for live trading. Wow, this is so cool. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the good stuff, and let me know if there's anything that I'd like or that you'd like me to explain more of. And other than that, welcome to the show. God bless you, and have a great season.